Yeah, we're just going to start with our first subject rather than question. What is the Master Herbalist tradition?
Master Herbalists are people who practice alternative medicine using herbs in order to help people achieve health goals, be it to come away from, to optimize their energy, to get to the best that they can be physically, emotionally, spiritually, or it can be somebody who is choosing to use herbs in order to come down away from symptoms of pain, inflammation, or to help with chronic degenerative diseases. Master Herbalism is the process by which we use food initially and then come in using herbs in order to achieve the aims of people's health.
Yeah, I think what's interesting for me is that Master Herbalists are essentially European herbalists with a strong influence in America in the 19th century and 20th century from the Native American peoples. So there's a lot of American herbs that we use, and it's totally European herbalism. It's not Ayurvedic, it's not Chinese, it's totally based originally in the European tradition of Hippocrates and Galen, Gerard, and other such people.
I think a distinction of the Master Herbalist tradition, for me, how I practice and how I've really engaged in the tradition, is that we look at the whole person rather than looking from a medical, just a medical perspective around herbs. So how we treat a patient, we treat the patient, not the symptoms.
Yeah.
So we're looking at the food, we're looking at the diet, we're looking at the lifestyle issues, as well as using herbs rather than just looking clinically what symptom needs to be treated with what.
Yeah, so it's
And that, for me, is why I chose this tradition.
it's a vitalistic approach.
It's a vitalistic
as opposed
approach
to an
rather than
atomistic, which
or a
just looks at
mechanistic,
the-
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So when people come to me as a Master Herbalist, invariably they will all say, my goodness, it takes so long. I had no idea a consultation would take this long. Typically the consultations are an hour long. In order for me to fully understand where somebody is at, both with diet, with health, and that can be very beneficial, that once you start a relationship with a good Master Herbalist, our job, as I see it, is to prepare the body with diet and to understand the person's lifestyle. And as a Master Herbalist, then and only then can I choose from a repertoire of hundreds of herbs in order to get the correct treatment. So for example, somebody for cholesterol, I can choose 20 different herbs off the top of my head to treat that person. But unique to being a Master Herbalist, it is the length of consultation, it is the full holistic knowing of that client that allows me to choose the specific one that will work on a template of good preparation of diet.
Yeah, and I agree. I think it's the whole body approach and the tradition behind that whole body approach. And that's where the results happen, because we're working with the whole person, we're working with the emotional, the energetic, the physical, not just the symptoms, it's the whole body, the whole person. And that's what works.
Yeah, what I like about when patients come to a Master Herbalist, they can expect to make changes in their own lifestyle and their own diet, and it's about really giving the patient a portion of their portion of responsibility to take, and patient responds quite well to that.
It's empowering people.
Yeah, what I found as well, like based on what you were saying there with the length of the consultation and that, is that often with patients, they often have realizations themselves just by having a long consultation where they're allowed the space to delve into how they really feel and how their diet is, and I think that helps a lot.
Just time, really, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. And respecting them as an individual and listening to them as an individual, I think, is a big factor in the whole thing as well. Yeah,
it's really interesting. Just on a slightly different note, in terms of what herbalists do, did you know we have an extraordinary tradition in Ireland of herbal medicine, and we were considered to be as good, if not better, than the Italians back in the 14th century. And there was an extraordinary school of herbal medicine actually in this area in the Midlands, And a lot of texts are still untranslated, and they're written in Hiberno-Latin. So that's something that hopefully will happen in the future, and maybe Herbalists can help with that. But it's really a part of our tradition and our culture as Irish people to be very connected to the earth and very connected to natural healing traditions. And all of us have grandparents who remember, you know, maybe I'm one of the oldest ones, but I remember being given nettle soup in the spring. And, you know, we had a local lady called Minnie Purcell who passed away, who used to literally collect herbs from the ditches. And my father, for example, never went to a doctor as a child. He only went to Minnie Purcell, and all of their ills were dealt with by Minnie, the herbalist, who's since passed on. So I think it's really important for us as herbalists and master herbalists, particularly European herbalists, to really resurrect this tradition and continue the use of herbs in Ireland. It's really a part of our heritage.
Yeah.
And there has, sorry Jenny.
Working with Irish people or European people, people from this climate, this environment, this part of the world, we resonate with European herbs. We resonate with our local plants, and that's what works for us. You know,
Totally. Indigenous herbalism.
that's it. Indigenous herbalism.
Well, it makes sense, doesn't it? You know, where our bodies are and come from, that we're going to connect with what comes from that land. You know, I was going to say that there's been such a disconnect in this country around our herbal roots. And working as a master herbalist here and seeing people's response is often, oh, you know, what is that? Is that, you know, Chinese
homeopathy?
Herbals, or is that homeopathy? Or that people are unfamiliar now with Western herbalism, and I think that's part of our job is to really bring it back into the communities in a way that people can connect that this is actually our tradition. And, you know, Chinese herbal medicine or Vedic herbal medicine, or, you know, they're all wonderful, but they're other traditions, and this is our tradition, and it needs a place of equal awareness, you know. And I think that's part of our job.